Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, and welcome also to my quarterly book haul and own TBR update. Since we're at the end of June and I know I don't have any more pre-orders or anything coming in and no plans to go book shopping in the last like 4 days of the month, I'm able to go ahead and round up everything that I've acquired so far, and I am very pleased to say that things are finally moving in the direction that I want them to be moving, because I started out this quarter at the beginning of April with 393 books on my owned TBR, and I am now ending this quarter with 384 books on my owned TBR. I don't know exactly how everything shakes out in terms of things that were on hold versus read. I don't have those numbers in front of me. I've realized that keeping track of that is a lot harder than I thought. It's much easier just to have the starting and ending numbers. So we're just going to roll with that, but that means that it's gone down by 9 books, and that is finally moving in the right direction. We're actually getting pretty close to it being below the original starting number for the year, which is what I'm really hoping for. I want to be moving like overall in a negative direction in terms of number. So really happy with that, and I just have a handful of books to tell you about today because I didn't acquire very many books at all. So first of all, we'll talk about the ebooks, and one of them I have read. It's the only book that I've acquired this quarter that I've already read, but the others I have like plans for. So these are all books I'm anticipating will be getting read soon. But the first ebook I have to talk about is The Brides of High Hill by Nevo. And this was the one that I've already read. This is the 5th book, I believe, in the Singing Hills cycle, which is following Chi, who is a traveling cleric who gathers stories. And in this particular installment, they have gone with a young woman who is about to get married. They've gone with her to her future husband's estate and are, helping her prepare for the wedding. And then things start to unravel, and it's clear that things are not as they seem at this estate, and they're trying to figure out this mystery of this particular lord and all of his previous wives. So really interesting. I loved this one. It goes very dark. It's got 1 foot fully in horror, and it really goes for it in a way that I appreciated. So I'm always going to pick up the Singing Hills books. I love this series, and I did pick this one up pretty much immediately after it came out. The other 2 ebooks I have not yet read, and the first of those is The Sunshine Court by Nora Sakovic. I bought this for 99 cents because I am apparently a glutton for punishment, but I am reading the All for the Game series, which is not good, but it is fairly entertaining because it's just absolutely wild. Nothing in it makes any sense at all. I've never read a series or even a book that has clearly indicated that the author did 0 research and was okay with that. None of this stuff in this series makes any sense at all, but this is the newest book that just came out this year. I think the universe heard me say that I'm about to be done with this series because I was reading the conclusion to the original trilogy last month, I think, and found out that there was, in fact, a new book following a different character. So I will be reading this at some point, but I needed a break from the nonsense of this series before I dove back in to finish it off entirely. The last ebook is one that just came out here at the end of June. This is Bitter Waters by Vivian Shaw, and I am so excited for this. I'm not up to this in the series yet, but this is a novella. I want to say the novella. I guess it is the only novella that's going to be in the series because she's finishing off the series with one more novel. But this is the novella for the series. It comes after book 3, and I'm currently on book 2, so I'm not quite there yet. But this is following Greta Helsing, who is a doctor for monsters and the undead in London, and her adventures. And I think in this particular story, she is investigating a vampire who was turning children into vampires, and she's trying to get to the bottom of that and stop them from doing that. So very excited to see what's going to happen in this, but first I need to read books 2 and 3. Moving on to the physical books, I only have 4 this time, so I had a total of 7 books that I bought for this quarter, and the 4 that I have here I have plans to read very soon, so I'm anticipating these will all hopefully be read in the very near future. So first of all, we got Indian Burial Ground by Nick Medina. I think this is one of 2 that I bought that was not a pre-order. But this is a horror book about a young woman who lives on a reservation, and she's about to leave with her boyfriend, but he suddenly dies, and she's left kind of picking up the pieces. But about the same time, her beloved uncle, who'd left a decade prior, suddenly returns, and he is something is going on and we need to figure out what it is. And so she's working with him, and it sounds like it's going to be lots of family relationship stuff and secrets from the past. Sounds really exciting, and I haven't read anything from Nick Medina yet, but I've heard really great things about his first book, so I'm excited to give this one a try because I love a good horror novel, and I'm really in a horror mood this year. I've been reading a lot of it. The first of my 2 pre-orders was A Crane Among Wolves by June Her, which is her 4th book. This one is following a young woman whose sister has been recently taken as the newest consort for a tyrant king in 16th century Korea during the Joseon era. And she is trying to get her sister back, and she ends up teaming up with a rebel prince, and they're gonna try and overthrow a tyrant king, and that just sounds very cool to me. Also interested to see what this one's like, because this is June Her's first book that's not a murder mystery specifically, so I'm excited to see what she's going to do with a slightly different plot structure. Then my other pre-order, this was an Evernight book, but this was Murder Road by Simone St. James, which I believe is about a couple going on their honeymoon, but they end up in a small town, and they rescue a hitchhiker, and the hitchhiker dies, and they suddenly find themselves as suspects in a murder mystery, but it seems like something supernatural is also happening. There's something about, like, they're being chased by a large truck at various points, so I'm very interested to see what this is like. I haven't read anything from Simone St. James, but I am trying to get through my Evernight books to get a sense of whether I feel like it was worth the value of the money that I put into the subscription, and also I just love this cover because it really gives me, like, Nancy Drew vibes. Like the old style Nancy Drew. Something about the illustration style is, I think, what is making me think that. But I'm really excited to give this one a try. It sounds like it could be super fun. I like a supernatural murder mystery, and like I said, I'm trying to get through those books just to get a sense of whether that subscription was worth my money. I have had to cancel it since I am currently unemployed, but I want to get a sense of whether, like, in future, if I got the opportunity, it would be worth subscribing again. So that's kind of what I'm working on at the moment. And then lastly, a book that I bought completely on a whim because it's the sequel to a book that I absolutely loved this month, The Fractured Dark by Megan E. O'Keefe. I read The Blighted Stars. I think I've mentioned this in one video already, and it's a spoiler for my June wrap-up, but, like, I loved The Blighted Stars. Did I say The Fractured Stars? I meant The Fractured Dark. I don't know. Now I'm, like, second guessing what I've said. Anyway, read The Blighted Stars in early June, loved it so much, had just a great time with it. I'm obsessed with those characters, Tarquin and Naira, I love them, and I needed to know what happened, so I've already gone out and picked up The Fractured Dark, and I'm planning to read this in July for Tarot Readathon, so that's worked out, like, very nicely for me. But those are all of the books that I have acquired this quarter. I almost said semester, and then I was like, nope, that's not right. Yeah, that's all the books I've acquired this quarter. It was just 7, and I've read quite a few as well, so I feel like I've done much better than I have in previous quarters. I think this is the first time since I started keeping track of my own TBR number that I've seen that go down, which I'm really happy about. That's really motivating for me because that's what I've been trying to do, and I'm hopeful that in the next quarter we can see that number drop even further. So anyway, that's pretty much all I have for you today. Let me know down in the comments a book that recently came out or that you recently got that you're really excited about. I would love to hear about that. And I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, I hope you'll consider giving it a like, maybe even subscribing to see what comes next. I'm currently posting on Tuesdays and Saturdays, so there's more content coming soon, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.